Fasting is so underrated and so under talked about. Bro, I can't tell you how many times I fasted and something broke off in my life. Like whether it was I was talking to the wrong people, it was I was trying to go and get something and the wrong deal fall through, or shoot, I fell back into striving and boom. I said, well dang. The Lord was like, nah, just rest. I said, man, every time I'm striving heavy, the Lord brings me back. And it always happens around the time of fasting. When I feel like I've fallen down in my own pit of distraction, the Lord's brought me back. Now, I actually want to talk about self-effort in this video because be careful not to try and twist God's arm with fasting. Fasting is powerful, but fasting is dangerous if it makes you believe you're the one in charge. It should show you you're the one that's not in charge and what you are in charge of. You can open your Bible. You can do the push-ups. You can put the next foot forward. But the outcome, that is and always has been completely and utterly up to the Lord. I learned this the hard way. I used to train and meditate, and I was kind of on this occult path trying to change the outcome of my life. Keeping it real, I was dealing with so many insecurities, fears, self-hate. And I gotta throw this in here, bro. Yes, the gym sessions were great, but everything else in my life was complete misery because I'm wondering why God, why can't I move the needle? What's going on? Every time I try and advance, something slows me down. And I was angry. I was angry with God, because this is even after me finding out God was real. God encountered me in this room right here. And now I know God's real, but simultaneously I'm like, Lord, what's going on? I just can't seem to get right. I can't seem to move the needle. Silence. So time goes by, and I won't lie to you, I'm pretty angry. All I can think to myself is, okay, maybe another gym session, maybe another diet, maybe another plan, something. The more I tried, the more it fell through. It's like, what's going on? I know this video was initially about fasting, but I really want to talk about self-effort too, because trying to twist God's arm is a no-go. And I know there's some people out there doing that. The more I read, this outcome will happen. No. The more you read, the more you're going to realize the outcome has always been in His hands, and you trying to force those outcomes won't change anything. It took me a while to realize this, but you should be focused on growing in faith and character. Those are the biggest things. Growing in faith, character, and reverence. Now, I'm not going to front like I always knew that. It took me a while to finally get to that point. Now, should I say I'm frustrated with the Christian community and say like, oh, nobody necessarily teaches you that? Not necessarily. Like, they'll say it, but they won't teach you why that's important. A lot of people need to know why that's important before going for that. But I said, man, I figured it out. I have poor character. I don't have any reverence. And I don't trust this Bible in front of me. Of course things are terrible. Of course things aren't moving. And it's not like me having these things will move the needle, but it'll change my heart and my character. The more I started to have faith in Him and His Word, regardless of me knowing what's going on, that is when the needle finally moved. The needle moved first internally. He gave me myself back. I realized that person that's inside of you, that joyful person, that person that's able to stand up against trials, knowing like I'm not going down. You can throw whatever you want at me. I'm not going down. That attitude was born from the way the Lord has formed you to be that kind of warrior type already, where you're saying, "Dang man, I'm not going down. I don't care what's thrown at me next. I'm with it. Throw it at me." And that's the attitude I had to approach it with, but I didn't realize at one point I didn't have that. I had to develop that. And I developed that when I realized that was buried underneath all the fear and the insecurity. Why do I need to act like life is throwing things at me when really it's doing stuff for me? If you think about it. But that's not my point though. I really want to let you know that self-effort is not stewardship. Effort can only go so far. Me gardening hours on the bike, many miles on the trail, hours in the Bible, they don't mean nothing if I'm trying to force outcomes. You have to do it from devotion. This is what I've learned. A lot of people are going to disagree with me because it's a very worldly view. Discipline is worldly. Self-control and devotion is godly. And the difference is where it flows from. Discipline, and nobody wants to say this, but discipline comes from, I need to earn love. I need to earn appreciation. I need to earn validation. Why? Devotion and self-control, they come from reverence. You're not going to waste the body God give you if you really believe he gave it to you in the first place. Like when you actually have a firm belief that God gave you a body to not waste. A lot of people say it, but you can tell who doesn't really care. And it's not because you don't have time. Don't say that. Just about everybody watching this video has time. But you keep telling yourself you don't have time because it's really a priority thing. You had time to scroll 45 minutes, but you didn't have time to work out today. That was a workout. You just skipped the workout because you prioritized comfort over having self-control, having devotion to God in a physical manner. That's all for this video. I think I'm going to do more bike videos. Oof, I worked up a sweat.